And Coco Gauff keeps American hopes alive. What a way to start the year. Gauff has exploded onto the 2026 tennis scene with performances that are sending shockwaves through the sport. The young American superstar just delivered another masterclass, defeating the formidable Iga Swiatek in straight sets at the United Cup semifinals, marking an incredible fourth consecutive win over the former world number one. This isn't just a victory, it's a statement. Coco Gauff is announcing to the tennis world that she has arrived and she's here to stay. The scoreline tells the story, 6-4, 6-2. Two dominant sets that brought Team USA roaring back into contention and left fans around the world stunned. But this match was about so much more than numbers. It was Coco cementing her status as the player who has figured out how to consistently beat one of the greatest competitors of her generation. It was a changing of the guard happening right before our eyes. From the very first point, Gauff came out with an intensity and focus that was electrifying to watch. Her movement on the court was exceptional, her positioning perfect, and her strikes delivered with power and precision that had Swiatek scrambling from the baseline. This wasn't the tentative Coco of the past. This was a player with complete confidence, executing her game plan flawlessly. The first set was a showcase of Gauff's evolution as a complete player. She dictated play with powerful ground strokes, used her incredible court coverage to reach balls most players wouldn't touch, and her serve and returns were firing on all cylinders. Most importantly, her mental game was rock solid. Swiatek is never someone to go down without a fight, and she began to mount a comeback, clawing her way to 4 games and trying to impose her heavy-hitting style. But this is where the new Coco shone. In previous years, a push like that might have made her tighten up or play more conservatively. Not this time. Gauff stayed aggressive, held her nerve like a seasoned champion, and refused to let her opponent gain momentum. Every time it seemed Swiatek might get back into the set, Gauff had the answer. A crushing forehand winner down the line, an unreturnable serve out wide, a perfectly executed drop shot showing her expanding arsenal. Closing the first set 6-4, Coco's confidence radiated. But even more striking was her steely determination. One set wasn't enough. She wanted to make an emphatic statement, and that's exactly what she did in the second set. That's where Coco truly took control, showing why she's becoming such a nightmare matchup for even the very best players in the world. Swiatek came out trying to change the momentum, attempting to hold her nerve and extend the match. She mixed up her pace, came to the net more frequently, and tried everything in her tactical playbook to disrupt Coco's rhythm. But Coco was relentless, absolutely relentless.
This is what separates good players from great ones. The ability not just to maintain your level, but to actually raise it when your opponent is fighting with everything they've got. Gauff didn't give Swiatek a moment to breathe, a moment to regroup, or a moment to believe she could turn the match around. The American kept pushing, maintaining constant pressure with deep, penetrating ground strokes. Her movement remained exceptional, allowing her to defend brilliantly when needed and transition seamlessly into offense whenever the opportunity arose. Swiatek managed just 3 games in the second set, and even those felt hard-fought, as Gauff was winning points in bunches whenever she had a chance to break. The 6-3 scoreline actually flatters just how dominant Coco was during stretches of the set. There were games where Swiatek looked completely overwhelmed by the pace, power, and precision coming from the other side of the net. When Gauff struck the final winner to seal the match, it was the culmination of a performance that will be remembered as one of the defining moments of her young career. But here's where this gets even more remarkable. This wasn't a one-off up. This wasn't Coco catching Swiatek on an off day. This victory represents something far more significant, the establishment of complete dominance over one of the sport's absolute best players. Let's look at the incredible streak Coco has put together against Swiatek since last season. It all started at the 2024 WTA Finals in the round-robin stage, where Gauff defeated Swiatek 6-3, 6-4 in a match many saw as a turning point in their rivalry. Then came the 2025 United Cup Finals, where Coco emerged victorious again, this time with an identical 6-4, 6-4 scoreline. People started taking notice. Was this developing into a real pattern? The answer came emphatically in Madrid during the 2025 semifinals, where Gauff dismantled Swiatek 6-1, 6-1 in a performance so dominant it stunned the tennis world. This wasn't just a win, it was a statement. Coco had cracked the code. Now, at the 2026 United Cup semifinals, we've witnessed victory number 4, 6-4, 6-2. 4 consecutive wins. 4 different occasions prove Coco can rise to the moment and defeat one of the generation's premier champions. This makes Gauff the only woman currently on tour with such an extended winning streak over Swiatek, a player who has dominated women's tennis and collected Grand Slam titles with remarkable consistency. Now think about what this means in the broader context of women's tennis. Swiatek has been a force of nature, a player who has overwhelmed the vast majority of her opponents with aggressive baseline play, mental toughness, and a champion's mentality. Very few players have consistently solved the puzzle that Swiatek presents, but Coco Gauff hasn't just solved it, she's mastered it. She's developed a game and approach that seems tailor-made to neutralize everything that makes Swiatek so dangerous.
So the question the tennis world is now asking is simple. Can Coco Gauff use this incredible momentum to become world number 1 in 2026? Based on what we've seen, the answer is not maybe, it's an emphatic yes. And here's why. First and foremost, Gauff has proven she can beat the very best on the biggest stages. This isn't about racking up wins against lower-ranked players or performing well in early rounds. Coco is delivering when it matters most, in semifinals, finals, in matches where the pressure is at its absolute peak. The mental fortitude she's showing is exactly what separates the top players from everyone else. Champions find a way to win the matches that define careers, and that's precisely what Gauff is doing. Secondly, her game has evolved to the point where she doesn't have any obvious weaknesses for opponents to exploit. Her serve has improved dramatically and is now a genuine weapon. Her forehand, once considered her slightly weaker wing, is now crushing balls with authority. Her backhand remains elite, continuing to paint the lines with precision. Her movement and defense are still among the very best in the sport, but now she's combining that with aggressive shot-making that constantly puts her opponents on the back foot. This is a complete, modern tennis game capable of winning on any surface. The timing couldn't be better for Gauff's ascension. While Swiatek remains an incredible player, the fact that Coco has her number creates a massive psychological edge. Every time these two step on court now, Swiatek knows she's facing someone who has beaten her 4 straight times. That mental advantage is invaluable in the razor-thin margins that often decide matches at the highest level. Furthermore, Gauff's consistency throughout the season will be crucial, and she's already showing she can maintain her peak level across multiple tournaments and surfaces. The United Cup is just the start of what promises to be an incredible year. With the Australian Open on the horizon, followed by the clay court season, grass, and then the hard court swing leading to the US Open, Coco has opportunities all year long to rack up ranking points in major titles. Her team deserves huge credit for the development we're seeing. The tactical adjustments, the physical conditioning, the mental coaching, it's all coming together at exactly the right time. Gauff is only going to keep improving as she gains more experience at this elite level, which is a terrifying prospect for her opponents. What makes her path to number 1 even more realistic is that she's just 21 years old, yet playing with the maturity and game of someone much more seasoned. She has years of elite tennis ahead, but she's already competing at a level that suggests her prime is arriving right now. The hunger and drive are undeniable. You can see it in every point she plays. This is someone who isn't satisfied with just being good or even very good. Coco Gauff wants to be the absolute best, and she's willing to put in the work to get there. American tennis fans have been waiting for another dominant female player to emerge, someone to carry the torch, and Coco Gauff looks ready to be that player. Comparisons to the Williams sisters are inevitable given her power, athleticism, and champion's mentality, but Coco is writing her own story. This is the beginning of the Coco Gauff era. If she continues playing at this level, if she maintains this incredible form against the top competition, there's no reason she can't end 2026 as the world #1. The tennis world should take notice. Coco Gauff isn't just coming, she's already here. And right now, she is absolutely unstoppable.